from a stranger who has since become a friend, but I read this and it just, I don't know, said something to me. It may say something to you. It's a story by a gentleman named Hudson Bell. And the only background I'll give you on the piece, one, I think it's probably semi-autobiographical. Two, he lived in Oxford, Mississippi, where this takes place on the square. And simply titled 16th of February, 1997. Today I couldn't work. They didn't need me. Spent the last of my money from the tapes, got the rest of my stuff out of Van Buren, ate Taco Bell in the cemetery watching Blue Velvet with C, and then walked to the square in a Speedo, carrying towel, and asked shocked passersby if they knew where I could find the Fountain of Youth. It was a beautiful day, windy, puff cotton clouds, smoke that got stuck in the olden days, I used to think. Sunny, blue, and pleasant, and as I wandered around, this one tickle pack stopped me, and the group leader, a butch girl with a massive feather lip, asked me if I wasn't cold. I told her no, I was just visiting, but if she was so concerned, she could take her mustache, eyebrows, and back hair and weave me a sweater. They moved from me like dead leaves on the wind. Then walks up this guy, one of those guys. Met him 100 times, seen him at parties, bars, etc. Yet he never acknowledges me, not that I give a possum's ass. But here he walks up and says to me, "Hey dude, what's with the getup?" And I inform him, giving him the hurricane finger, "What's your name?" That I'm just cruising the square, hunting for some babes to go hot tubbing with the judge. And if he knows any, he can come along, provided it's quality babies and he doesn't break the law. You need to get off the rock, is what he says. Then it is actually kind of getting chilly. So I go into the clothing store there, Nielsen's, and ask if I can borrow a shirt. First off, the woman behind the counter, who looks like a jack-in-the-box as she approaches me, tells me that I'm not allowed to enter with only underwear. I tell her it's a bathing suit, but she's shaking her head with her eyes closed, afraid to face up to life. I stand in the doorway then, just to finagle her, and she nods at the other few in the store and goes over to the phone, picking up the receiver and looking back at me as if I was to be like, "Oh no, she's calling the police." So I went next door to Mrs. Crumbleberry's psychic shop and got some paper bags from her. She didn't look at me twice. Her left arm's gone now. So she handed me the 2 bags and then the scissors all with her right hand. And I cut armholes and leg holes and put on the bags so that now I look like a cross between the Scarecrow and the Tin Man. I got my fortune read real quick and the crystal ball, and she said that I needed to watch out for a girl, some evil hag that was going to try and lead me into dungeons and dark rooms from which I'd never return. And I thanked her, and I left and walked past the courthouse, eyeing the sun lowering behind the tree skeletons, and I breathed deeply, knowing somehow everything was going to be okay someday. And as I got closer to Elm Street, I saw some of my former friends getting out of their cars, heading over to eat or have drinks or whatnot, and I wondered what had happened, where I'd gone wrong. I just couldn't remember it being that overnight, but it was, and I lost all my friends. But I guess you got to lose all your friends before you can find the ones that really matter. I might have already found those friends, I hope not. But I also kind of hope so, depending on which aspect that is chosen at that exact moment and or what friend I'm with. And this friend here, invisible, is the one I need right now. It's like all in this friend here, it's like all the ones I've ever known wrapped up into one positive phantomed existence. And I walk on to fix up my stuff because I moved into a place with X and Y. It's great to have a room. And as I sit on my mattress, I feel sick, weird, and kind of like I'm without batteries or something, just some kind of hollow feeling. The weather's great, good moon, coldness breezing through. And as the light turns to the other side of the globe, I can close my eyes and get on the highway and going on and on and on until it doesn't matter if I got money or not. Nope. And there in my dream, I see that TV star, whoever, that famous of all famous and money and grandeur. And they're standing there at this rail which oversees a drop-off, and a sign hangs there reading, "Those who don't jump are fucked." So, feeling pressure from all around, I jump. But as I'm about to drop below the rail in panic, thinking it's my last chance to survive, not knowing the depth of the fall, I grab onto the bottom bar, and I hang there and look down to see how far I would have dropped. And I see that the ground is only a foot below my shoes. And I look back at F, who's all smiles, and here I am looking like a fool, hanging from the horizontal bar in surrender. And I look back down at the floor, and I wonder if I'm always just going halfway. And here in my dreams, in this altered reality that reveals my truest nature, I decide never again will I go halfway. No, sir, never again.